How's it going, Blazers? We're working to build that community to allow for discussion, providing the specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. So if that's the type of reviews that you're looking for, please consider subscribing to the channel. So we're going to be doing, this is the second batch of the knife testing. So this is going to be for PMI, positive material identification, and also for Rockwell hardness. So now some of these are just kind of an oddity. So for the Ozark trail knives, have been around a long time. They went up $1 in price this year, but the 10 flipper was 2015. This was 2017. And we have the LA police gear that was just featured on Birdshot IV's channel for this knife here, StatGear Ausus, and then also now we have a Bastion Falcon. So these are the ones that we're going to be looking at today to see kind of where they're sitting. We're also going to be looking at putting together the chart. So this is just a rundown of the ones from myself as well as Love Them Knives. Also, we're going to have one knife from Jack Farmboy. So this is going to be the listing that will be available. So I'm going to run it through a few folks just to make sure that we have everything on it that we need to. And then that will be available to you folks as well as to anybody that wants to use the link. So it's going to be a living document that will actually be updated over time. And then so it basically has two listings for it. So it's either that the steel matched or it did not match. So that's that red and green. So you can make that determination on your own, whether they're a reputable brand, if you want to go with them or not, as far as what they're advertising and what's actually testing at. So we're going to start out with one of them as far as the Ozark trail knives. So these are the ones that were originally $388. This year they went up to $488, but like for this one, for the Ozark Trail, there's a little flipper knife. So from best guess for it, since it doesn't match up as far as the steel for what they have available within the PMI gun, this one would be running to be about there's a 3CR 13. So if anybody's a metallurgist or actually wants to kind of pause and read as far as this information here, I mean, let me know as far as if it's something else, if you think that it's closer to a different steel for this knife, because this is one that was, it's a very budget knife. A lot of people test it as far as actually learn how to sharpen using these type of blades. But if you know what that is, but the closest one that could take a guess on and looking at a chart, that would be like a 3CR 13. So let me know on that one. So that's going to be that first knife there. We also do have the legendary 10 flipper. So I did pick this up from Birdshot IV. So I forgot if it was Blade Show or if it was SHOT Show. But I did purchase that for well more than it should have been. Well, not well more than it should have been, but a lot more than most people would pay for it. So it was really nice where I bought that, which was completely sealed, opened it up just for this testing, and then they did actually send in basically a one-off. So basically I got this knife here, which is basically a one-of-one custom. As you see on this side, came with artwork. So that's just amazing. So do appreciate that. So have this knife, then got this one in, which is a 10 flipper that was unopened since 2015. And just for you folks, I opened it from the package. A very few remaining. I think Birdshot still has some, but if anybody else has any out there, they're dying breed. They're kind of going away. A lot of people had this in a junk drawer, lost them, but very few unopened. So this one is going to be also, it's not really one that seems to be like a 420, but it could be like a 3CR, 4CR. But I mean, again, for this one, if you know what that might be for this, on the steel chart that we're going to be having available to the general public, it actually will give you a breakdown also on what all these elements are. So you can click on it, learn a little bit as far as what's actually in a knife steel, and then so you can get a little bit more of an idea as well as how that operates. But this is going to be probably going to be that 3CR, 4CR type of thing as well for this blade. And I forgot to say on the other one too, for the original one, for this one, for the Rockwell, came out to 52.8. For this one, and a 10 flipper, it came out to 54.8 for Rockwell. So those are the different Rockwells for these here. And then for now, some of the other ones, we have a Bastion. Bastion is one that just made cutlery lover's knife. He came out with a knife, his first one, and he is going to be having some other ones from what he was saying on some of the social media. But I don't like basically the tanto blades very much, but this is kind of a love-hate type of thing. It's kind of that thin line. So this is one that I felt actually really came together well. As far as this one, it's kind of like a bolster lock type of knife. The only ones I didn't really like as far as this pocket clip, and then I didn't really feel that jimping was really needed for this one, but I just really like how that comes together as far as the styling, coloration for it. So D2 is what they're listing this for. So D2 for the Bastion Falcon, and then it actually did test out as far as being D2 as well. This one for Rockwell was 54.9. So that one's a little bit lower as far as what's an ideal setting for D2. So that's going to come down to heat treating. So I mean, you could have the best steel, you could have the worst steel, and then some of the Rockwell is going to be where that's heat treating, quenching. So this one, for an ideal for a D2 blade, would be about 58 to 63, and this one's coming out at 54.9. So I didn't reach out to them yet on this one, but I probably will do that for the knife to see if they have any input as far as that one, because this is just this model. So all these tests are just of these units, so they're not across the board. So you could have basically a different place in the oven that's going to have a different temperature, especially for something that's going to be done on a mass scale. So that one's a little bit low for that one. We have the next, which is really one of my favorite knives this year that I came across. This one was on Amazon. I think it was a sale going for it for about $30. Right now, I think you can get it for about $50. But just really one of the really great ones that came across. This pocket clip, even though it doesn't have a lot of style to it, it goes in and out of the pocket really well. It's a right or left hand carry, so you could do that. But even the thumb studs work really well. It's more of one that you would use more of your thumb pad instead of the fingernail to open up, but it just works really well for this one. And this is also listed for D2. So for D2 for the StatGear Ausus, that one is going to be at a Rockwell hardness. So again, ideal would be about 58 to 63. StatGear came in at 58.8. Again, also a real D2. So that's going to be that specification. And again, these are going to be on the chart that will be coming out. So you'll be able to see in order of basically by manufacturer is what I'm going to be putting out on, and it's going to be something that will be living. So as we get more tests, we can add to the sheet, and it will also be updated on that link. So if you continue to use the link, that will be in descriptions, then you can actually see it as it goes, as the new tests come in, as I input the new tests as well. So that's going to be ones that we will have available. So one of the ones that is supposedly the least expensive S35 VN that you can get is going to be the LA Place gear. And then that's going to be the TBFK. If you don't know what that means, look it up, because it's just really trying to push it as far as that confidence level, like when you have a really big ego. Yeah, I don't know. It just, for name wise, I would consider changing a little bit as far as a different name, and also would love if they could have some like Marcarta scales or something for this. That would be just great. So I did pick up 2 models of this. So they come in 2 different ones. So they have the black, and they also have the satin for it. And then something for 2018, that did change. They are a tip up deep carry. So they used to be tip down, and then they did move that to a tip up carry. You did lose the lanyard hole for it, so that's going to be kind of a deal breaker for some folks. I don't use lanyards myself, so it is not a deal breaker for me. But I guess the major question for this is, for the steel that's been done, tested, tested, the results show that this is S35 VN, and then that's going to be for about $40. So is this S35 VN? So the question is that, and the answer is yes. So this is S35 VN. So this is going to be the chart for this, and then this will also be on the spreadsheet that will be made available to everyone that wants to use it, including other channels. If you want to kind of keep that link in your favorites, you can check back in it, and then you can see as it updates different steel testing, and then also the element chart for it. So that's something that's going to be made available to everyone for that. So the issue with this, so real S35, according to Crucible, the aim hardness for this blade would be 58 to 61. So 58 to 61 for this would be the ideal. And then I did have, this was tested at 2 different points. So now you can see the little dimples there for here and also up here. The reason for that is that it came out to a Rockwell of 52.6. So that was very, very low, very much out of what Crucible says should be their aim hardness for it. And even on their charts for all the other the temperatures and all the different quenchings, it never gets that low. So that's where for this one, this is the one that was tested. I did not send this one out, but for this one, it came out to 52.6. So I mean, that's something that does happen from time to time. So again, it's a mass market thing. It's going to be something that within the oven, it's going to be a little bit different. But the issue I have with LA Police gear. So correct me if I'm mistaken on this. Let me know if I'm being too harsh on it. But I really wanted this to be the budget knife of the year, at least for my channel, because I felt that S35, $40, so it's under $50 for S35 blade. The action's really nice on it. Has thumb studs, very much a fidget knife for me. So it would actually be one that I could get behind as far as being a budget knife of the year. But the issue I had was I went, and after I got the testing results, I sent 2 emails. I called. I got a hold of somebody. They said they were in a meeting. I called, and then they said that they would forward all the email information over to them so they could take a look at it. At least I could get a response. Like, I wasn't expecting anything different other than like letting them know that there might be a heat treating issue with their knives. And I got ghosted. Like, I got like nothing. I didn't get a response to my email. I didn't get a call back. I left my phone number. Just nothing. I mean, that's the reason why, yes, it's S35. Heat treating's not good on it for at least this model. You could have a better result for that, but like, I was really trying to just get an answer for it, or like at least go, hey, this is what's happening. Even if you're not going to like change anything, I wasn't asking for anything. I was just like, hey, this is what we found on our test. And then nothing. Not like, hey, thanks a lot. Hey, we'll look into that. Nothing. No phone call, no email. So that's the issue I had with LA Police Gear. So if anybody's affiliated with them, if you can just get an answer for it, just like, I don't know why that happened that way. They said they would forward it over. I'm still a small channel for it, so maybe I don't have a bite for it, but I was really just trying to help out, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way with LA Police gear for that brand. So I haven't reached out to Bastion, but I will also do that because their heat treating also is a bit low for D2. So I'll let them know about that. But they seem pretty reputable as far as a brand, and they'll take care of that. At least it seems like my experience with them. So that's what we have. Steel testing is going through. So let me know as far as the comments down below, as far as what you think about it. This is going to be something we're going to continue. This is something that I really wanted to do. Was very much cost prohibitive, but it was able to be done through Kurt. So Kurt very much appreciated for all the work that he's doing. And then it's able to put everything together. So again, we're going to have it on this type of chart here. So you can go through it, look at all the different elements. Look at the Rockwell, what they advertised for Rockwell, what it came out to, at least for that one knife, whether it was actually matching to what steel they were actually printing on the blade. So if they said it's D2 and it's not D2, it's going to have a red X next to it. That's how that's going to work. And then you guys can determine on your own as far as what you think about the brand, what you think about that certain blade, and then make that determination, because that's going to be your choice. So consider subscribing if you make it to this end of this video. Do appreciate it. I'm looking to try and get to 1,000 subscribers by the anniversary. And I think that was March sometime as far as when I started out. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your interest in these. And then let me know in the comments down below. And if anybody really knows their steel, help me out as far as the Ozark Trail, because that's the Ozark Trail information for all those elements. So it seems like 3CR, but it could be wrong for that. Thanks for your time. Do appreciate it.